everyone. I welcome you to my kitchen and a little lesson in using your essential oils in your cooking. We are focusing this season on salt as the flavor of winter, and so I wanted to share with you how I use essential oils with my salts to bring that layering of plant goodness, wonderful flavor, and all of those little nudges that I appreciate the essential oils giving us in our day-to-day habits. It's a great way to bring great flavor and the strength of our essential oils into our food. So let me take you through some of the supplies that I have, and I always keep them on hand. This is something that I have in my kitchen. I know that I want to be able to use salt in my food, certainly through the winter. A lot of the foods that we have through the winter are roasted and warm and have wonderful sauces and things like that. So today I'm going to show you some roasted vegetables that I'm working on. Let me take you through the tools that I'm going to help you to use with them. So I have my salt set, and my salt set is these bottles right back here, and this is what they look like. I was gifted with this great little set of bottles at one point and wondered, what the heck am I going to do with them? Well, I found a little box that they fit in, and I created myself a cooking set of savory salts. So I have a set of these little bottles, and I have, for several years, used these as one of my cooking tools. And in the salts, I have this collection of essential oils. So I'm going to take you through my set of oils that I have, that I've used to make savory salts, and just mention a few of the recipes that I might use them in. So as I go down the row, I do have what you might expect. I do have herbs in the set. I do have citruses and some really great flavors. So the first oil that I have in my savory set is dill. Now dill is a special little one, and I just wanted to mention that it has been in the dōTERRA collection. It was part of a summer special set that we had access to a couple years ago. And if you ever get the chance to get dill in your collection, I really recommend it. My savory dill salt is delicious on fish, as you might expect, but here's one you might not expect. I put it on my popcorn. Every once in a while it's a special treat. I put my savory dill salt on our popcorn to give it a little bit of deliciousness. Next I have a couple citruses. I've got lemon and I've got orange. And my lemon, I certainly use that with my fish as well. I'm also using it with some of my vegetables that could use a little bit of tartness. So if I'm using like a fennel or like a bok choy, something that might appreciate a little bit of lemon, and any of those seafood foods like shrimp. If I'm doing a bit of fish stir fry, a seafood stir fry, then I would use the lemon. The orange gives a little bit of yumminess to our chicken. So I'll do, if I want to do an orange chicken, I'll often use the orange salt, but then I'll bring in a bit of ginger oil as well, and ginger food, like grated fresh ginger, so that I can layer those flavors and really give them a great multi experience, where you get the aromatics and you get the beauty of the food itself. I use lemongrass in a savory salt, and lemongrass is my favorite when I'm doing Thai recipes, particularly shrimp. Shrimp picks up the flavor really nicely with some rice noodles and a bit of a broth with coconut milk in it. Really delicious. This is fennel, and fennel we use as a digestive. It is very calming to the stomach. You can the oil itself you can use to make a wonderful tea. When I have it in my savory salt, I use the fennel for my salad dressings. So I might use that when I'm putting together a salad recipe. This is one of my favorites. This is black pepper. And I put black pepper in with my salt. It makes me giggle because it feels like I'm being really efficient on my Sunday morning eggs. But that's where we use it. I use my my savory salt with black pepper oil on my morning eggs on the weekend, and they're really delicious. Sometimes I also use this oil. I will put it right into my butter and make a savory butter. It's got great kick but just enough, not too much. So that's black pepper. We've also got thyme, oregano, and marjoram, and I use those savory salts where you might also in your recipes where we're working with poultry. Thyme is delicious on turkey and chicken, and it was particularly useful when I make my stuffing. So if you're doing anything to go with your chicken or your turkey, it picks up the flavor beautifully. The oregano salt is great in stir fries and anything that's going to bring tomatoes into it. I use my oregano savory salt with anything with tomatoes in it, like my spaghetti sauce, or I often will I make a really great lentil and cauliflower curry, which then I'll put a can of tomatoes and a can of coconut oil in, and when I sprinkle a bit of oregano salt on it, it just adds another element to the dish. Very yummy. And my marjoram is one that I will bring in where I'm like, I don't know, what should I just, boost this up with a bit. Marjoram is my sort of go-to if I'm not really sure what I want in that recipe and I'm kind of making things up, and that happens once in a while in my kitchen anyways. So these are oils that I typically use with my savory salts, and I have created these little jars of salt that I was showing you before, so that it's really easy for me to just keep drawing all my resources as I'm putting my recipe together and tuck it in. I use my oils in my salts in my cooking for the same reason that I do in my bath. We've talked about using salts in our bath before, and that's when the salt takes in the oil, it absorbs oil, and then is absorbed into the liquid of the bath or the recipe. It emulsifies the essential oil components, the flavor of the essential oil, deeper into and more broadly into the recipe. So I have them in salts so that I'm getting a really thorough, rich flavor. So I want to show you how I make that container. I do actually need to fill up my black peppers and salt, savory salt, so I have it ready. I have my little funnel, and I know that I have just shy of 2 tablespoons of salt in these containers. So here's what I do. I measure my first tablespoon in, and we'll let that go through the funnel. And then I like to put my oils in between, about halfway through, so that I can get it really mixed, blended well through the salt. So we'll just let that come out. And I do anywhere from 15 to 20 drops. With black pepper, it's good and strong, so I'll just do about 15 drops, and I'll put that in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. I guess black pepper, even essential oil form, can make us sneeze. So there's my black pepper. I've got it halfway full. I'll put the other tablespoon of salts into the container, and then I'm going to shake it up so that I can get those beautiful black pepper oils nice and blended all the way through my savory salts. So there we go. I've got that filled up. Oh, I might have gone a little. Oh, great. And I pop my lid on, and I'm just going to shake that up so that it blends itself all the way through those salts. Then I have this salt ready. It's just a little container. I can put a little bit in my palm and sprinkle it on, and really enjoy the flavors all the way through my food. So there's my black pepper savory salt. So I wanted to take you through the salts that I already have, and I wanted to mention these game changers that dōTERRA released for us in the Christmas selection, in the Christmas catalog. If you picked them up, you know that dōTERRA is looking ahead at making using oils just so beautifully easy for us. And they have released a set of cooking blends. There are 3 of them in our kit. For our different types of foods. So we have this blend of Italian, which I have added to my my spaghetti sauce. It's all the beautiful oils that you would expect, thyme and rosemary, basil, marjoram, and oregano, and very cleverly set in olive oil rather than in the coconut oil that we're familiar with. We also have a Mexican blend. I'm using this in my guacamole. And if you've been learning oils with me for a while, you know that I love coriander in my guacamole. This one just gives us a little bit more flavor. It's in avocado oil, which is a great idea. And it's got the lime, cumin, black pepper, cilantro, and marjoram in the Mexican blend. And then we also have the tropical blend. And I have used the tropical blend. It's set in coconut oil. It has orange, lemon, lime, grapefruit, beautiful citruses, green mandarin, bergamot, yuzu, and ylang ylang. And I did use the tropical in our smoothies actually, and that was a real hit with some bananas and some pineapple juice and some coconut oil in smoothies for Reed, and she was really pleased with that. So we have lots of oils that suit our cooking really well. I put them into salts so that I can use it easily, and I get a great distribution of flavor in the food. Now the trick to using our salts in our food is what I want to show you next. I do have the roasted vegetables that I'm working with, and I very particularly am waiting for this stage. I have it cooking right now, and I wanted to show you live as I'm recording the video that it's important to use our oils, our savory salts, our oils, even if you're adding them right into the oil of your food, that you use them at the end of the cooking. They really are that garnish, they are that boost of flavor at the end. We could put fresh herbs and things like that in with our food as we're roasting them, but the essential oils, when they get heated up too high, the constituents will break down, and you won't hold the flavor as well. So here we go. We're at the last stage of my roasted veg. I do have a beautiful tray of beets, and then I have this wonderfulness of carrots and turnips and potatoes. I've cooked them in avocado oil. That's what I had today, nice and hot. I've been stirring them around, and here they're just wonderful. I don't know if you can smell them, but they're really yummy, I promise. So what I'm going to do at the end, they have the oil on them, very simple. I really like rosemary, especially with my potatoes. So I'm going to my potatoes. You can see that I use my rosemary savory salt pretty often, and I'm just going to sprinkle it over like you would, like you probably would with any other typical salt. But now we get the beauty of rosemary in with our vegetables. Just a little bit of a sprinkle, and I'll stir them around a bit. I am finishing these roasted veg with that rosemary salt. Just give it a little stir around to let that salt be grabbed up by the oils that the food was cooked in. Oh, it's getting there, it's getting there. All right. And then just as an example of a beautiful way to serve that up, I have a bit of quinoa. I'm going to pop my roasted veg in with that. I do still love having fresh plants with me, and I'll just grab this little snippet here. A beautiful presentation, because I can. And here we go. Here we go. We have our rosemary savory salt seasoning our beautiful roasted vegetables. I've served it up with quinoa and a little bit of the fresh herb to remember how much we appreciate our plants, our plant families, the herbs that give us the essential oils that make such a difference in our day. I know with these oils layered into the food, I know with a little bit of that fresh herb, I'm getting the beautiful concentration of and clarity of rosemary. If you try this in your meals, I hope that you will enjoy it as well. A little tip from my kitchen to yours, pouring out some of my love, some of the ways I take care of me, and I welcome you to take care of you. Bye, everybody.